Hello everyone, it's Helen here with Helping with Helen. Thanks for joining me. I have been wanting to make this video since Friday night, but we were out of town and we've been so busy. And so finally today I get to make it and I get to share with you some of the exciting stuff that has been taking place in our household over the last week. I actually think you guys are going to find this to be really exciting too, especially if you are thinking about buying a home or selling your home. We were going to wait until the spring of 2025 to put our house on the market. We were thinking March or April. I had a few reasons for that because I was thinking by then the snow would be melted, so the grass would be green. We live on a golf course, so I was thinking curb appeal, but I was also thinking because of time. It would give us time to paint, do projects, clean closets, start packing, and be able to do it all without feeling rushed. But then we got to talking to our real estate agent a few short weeks ago, and she said, now is the time to list your house. And she said, I don't have a crystal ball. She said, but things are moving, and I think they're going to continue to move. So now is the time. Now we have a history with this agent. And so I already knew her level of experience and expertise. So when she says it's time, it means it's time. She's not messing around. She has sold 2 of our houses and she has sold a business for me. And 2 of the houses now that she has sold has went under contract within a 24-hour period. The first house she sold for us a few years back, the sign never even made it into the yard. Our house, actually, this one that we're living in right now, she put the sign outside of my house last Wednesday. By Thursday morning, 8 o'clock, I had somebody here taking pictures. I had a drone flying over the house to get a full picture. And we also had another person show up a couple hours later to do a live inside the house to make the virtual tour, and spent a good hour in here just doing the most professional job so that they could get it online that same exact day. It was on Zillow that day. We were doing showings that night. And by Friday morning, we had already had a couple of offers, one by which somebody who had never even seen the house, they had just seen the pictures, the amazing pictures. And then the next day, we still had 2 more showings scheduled. So we had 2 more offers come in, and then we had another offer come in the following day after we had already accepted an offer. And so it has just been a whirlwind, but that will show you right now what is happening out there. Now we are in Casper, Wyoming. I don't know what the rest of the country is doing as far as selling and buying, but right here, right now, things are on the go, especially in that sweet spot range. I don't know where your house is. I'm not talking about the low of lows, even though I think that those are probably moving as well. We're kind of in the middle price range where people are okay, it's still affordable. As far as if you're getting in the higher brackets, I don't know how fast those houses are moving, but right here in the middle, that sweet spot, those houses are going. And there's hardly any rentals here, guys. There's no rentals. I mean, there's a few here and there. Obviously, you can get into some really nice apartments and rent, but as far as house rentals, it's kind of going to be a hit or miss. So you're definitely going to want to know where you're going. And that was one concern for us. Okay, so some people are wondering, what are you doing? Are you buying a new home? Where are you going? What are you doing? Well, we are going to be purchasing a house in Florida. And so I've had so many people say, Helen, you live in Wyoming. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. It's far. There's going to be bugs the size of birds. What do you want to go to Florida for? But I'm I love Florida. I love hot and I love humid and I love the ocean. And so for me, it makes perfect sense. And we did used to own a house in Florida. So this isn't the first time that we've done this. We actually owned a house there several years ago, which we sold right before COVID. So had we had a crystal ball, we would have known that that same exact house would be $100,000 more worth that a year later. And so it's just man, but you can't go back. You can only go forward. But yes, we love Florida. And the difference is we were renting that house out at the time. This time I will be living there. We will be living there. I will be living there 6 to 8 months out of the year. My husband will be living there a little bit less because he's going to continue on his second career here. So he's still got a few years left, but we're going to make it work. So we're just going to be kind of going back and forth and doing a little this and a little of that. And so we definitely could use some prayers for this new chapter and this transition, but it's something we've thought out, and it's something that's going to be really, really exciting. But since we're buying a home in Florida, we're looking for a rental here in Casper. And so we knew that that would be one of the things that we would need to look for when we were going to sell our house. And we knew that potentially things would go fast. And again, they did. So we accepted that offer on Friday night. And here's where it gets crazy. This is where you see God's hand. God's hand has been in this whole thing all along, because I even felt it on my heart that it was time to sell too. I was just like, this is the time. This is the time. Let's just do it. Well, that evening, after we had accepted the contract and everybody had decided that this is what we were going to do, the people who are buying our home, they actually said, well, what are you guys going to be doing? Like, where are you going? What are you doing? And so my husband was just like, well, you know, we're going to be purchasing a house in Florida, and we're going to be just doing some renting, and we're going to probably take a year to kind of see what we're doing and, you know, buy the perfect house where we're not rushing into it and just taking our time with the process. And they were like, well, we're buying this house as a rental. Would you guys like to just rent from us? You can't even make that up. They actually said, would you like to live here for the next year and just rent from us? And then we would even consider going month to month for you after that until you guys are situated and have everything on your end complete. And we thought, wow, of course we would. I mean, talk about a miracle. We're not going to have to find a rental. We're not going to have to pack up this house overnight. And that was one of the things that we were both concerned about, like, the moving process, because moving is hard. And we've moved several times and we're like, we don't want to do it anymore. In fact, we were to the point where we're like, we're hiring movers. Because we've always been our own movers, but we're like, we're getting a little older, okay? We don't want to throw out our back here, you know? Brian's still healing up from his rotator cuff surgery. So the last thing we need is any more injuries in this house. And so we're like, we're hiring movers. But guess what? We're not going to have to hire movers today, because if everything goes smooth, it sounds like we will be living in this house at least for the next year until we get the new house purchased and just going from there. And so, guys, that is my crazy story. But if you are wanting and are serious about selling, you should reach out to my real estate agent, because she is so, so good. Alicia Collins is the real deal. She is a real deal. She is professional. She is hardworking. She is driven, and she is going to get the job done. I have seen it firsthand. Firsthand. Like I said, she has sold 2 of our houses. She sold one of my coffee shops, and she is like, I honestly feel genuinely, like, truthfully, not just on a real estate end, nobody works harder than her. Nobody works harder than her. You will see her on every social media platform, and she is just out there. She's like a bulldog. She is just out there doing her thing. And I was just like, I admire that. In fact, that's why I like to work with her, because I love that. I'm just like, whew, she's passionate about it. She's good at her job, and she gets it done one way or another. And so if you're looking for a really, really good agent here in the Casper area or in the surrounding region, you should definitely consider her. I'm not being paid to tell you this. This is just strictly my experience. She doesn't even know I'm making this video, and I hope she'd be okay with it. I don't see why she wouldn't. But I needed to share it with you because she's an amazing agent, and I've already been telling people, and other people that have dealt with her as well, they're just like, oh yeah, amazing. And so if you're considering, you should definitely consider her, and you should definitely consider putting your house on the market now, because I think now is a time, and she was correct. And so also a neighbor of ours that's right here in the area, their house got put on the market within a couple of weeks as well and was sold. So it was just like, boom, sold. Not from the same agent, but I'm just telling you, things are definitely going. So anyways, I wanted to share this exciting story with you guys because I couldn't believe it and couldn't have planned it out any better. And so now is the time, possibly, but just make sure you think it through. Have a great day. God bless. Bye.